Alright, let's give Thursday's Daily Puzzle on chess.com a shot. This one's called Will a Fork Stop You? It's white to move. Give the video pause and try it yourself if you feel like it. Okay. So I think my only piece that can check is the rook right here. There's a hanging bishop. I don't really see a reason why I wouldn't take the bishop. Okay. So white can win, or black can win my bishop right back. Because this pawn is protecting this square. So the rook can hop to here, check my king, and take my bishop. Right? That's the point. So if I take a bishop, I just lose my bishop. And black, so material will be even after that. We'll both have 2 pawns and a rook. Huh. The board's really open. I'm just not, it's hard to figure out what the idea is in positions like this. So again, only check is this. I don't really see the value in it. The king has a bunch of moves. There's 3 moves. If I'm saying that this check is my problem, then I'm somewhat tempted to try to move one of these 2 pieces. I guess I could, okay, I was going to say I could attack the rook, but the bishop is on the diagonal, so I probably should not do that. Alright, I guess let's continue following this line. So if I take the bishop and get forked, like I'm going to lose this pawn too, right? So that's not really what I'm looking for. Can I like trap the rook or something? So takes, check, where do I go, here? Oh, maybe I can threaten checkmate somehow? I feel like it must have something to do with getting my king closer and trying to threaten checkmate. Could definitely be wrong though, because it feels like after I get forked, black is taking my pawn. I'm not sure. What? I'm just not seeing the point. I don't think. Oh, okay. Well, if I push the pawn first, then this fork doesn't work. I hadn't thought about that. Would there be a purpose to doing that? I don't see it. I mean, what am I missing here? The name of the puzzle is Will a Fork Stop You? So this is the fork. I feel like the answer is no, a fork will not stop me. So I feel like the first move is this, and then I feel like this is going to happen. I really don't know what the follow-up is. My bishop is getting taken. So like can I trap the rook or something? Takes here, 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 here. If I push the pawn, my king's going to be here. Wow, that takes away a lot of the squares from the rook for sure. So takes, check, or yeah, check. I'm thinking king here because I'm taking away these 3 squares. After the rook takes, I push the pawn. Now the king only has the 5th rank to move on. This is taken. This is taken. I almost have the rook trapped. It only has this square to go to. Is there something to that? I don't think so. I don't think there's any way I can trap the rook. Is there some way that I can threaten checkmate? It's got to be this line, right? Am I just doing this? Okay. And now the move is I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe I come down? I hadn't thought about that at all. So I have 4 legal moves. I kind of like trying to get opposition with the king, but my rook can't even slide in for checkmate. If I go here, then I'm taking away like every square the rook will have. If after it takes, I can push the pawn. Oh yeah, the rook is trapped. So is that the point? So I'd like trap the rook, and then what would I do? If I go here, takes, push, that rook is rendered. Oh wow, it's Zugzwang. This is a Zugzwang puzzle because the king, you're either losing the rook or the king has to move here, and this is mate. And nothing can move. That's nuts. Wow, that's a tough puzzle on a Thursday. So I move here because it takes away these 3 squares. My rook has this square. My pawn has this square. So if the rook wants to take, it certainly can. I can take my bishop. But then I push the pawn and take away the very last square from the rook. The rook is in front of this pawn. This pawn can't move. This pawn can't move. The king can't move anywhere other than right here. And my king is going to be here, so this will be checkmate, this is nuts. Okay, so I go here. Look at this position. After I push this pawn, the rook has no good move. Black doesn't have a single move. There's no moves for black to make. If black goes here, you get checkmated. If the rook moves anywhere, it gets taken. And the rook and the king are the only pieces with legal moves. The king's only legal move is there. I wonder what's going to happen. Yeah, you just take the pawn, and I take the rook. and I win the rook, and now I'm up a rook, and I'm going to win. Wow, cool puzzle. Okay. Took me a minute to find that, but let's run it back. All right, so tricky one on a Thursday. There's a hanging bishop right off the bat, right? So I was just asking myself, why can't I take that? I only have one check in the puzzle. This didn't look like a very good move. Didn't see what this did. So I was just like, okay, why can't I take this bishop? Black can immediately fork me. Protected by the pawn, attack my king and my bishop simultaneously. So if I take a bishop, it seems like I'm going to lose a bishop. I do take the bishop in the puzzle. And the point is that this move right here, I can move my king to here. And if the rook takes my bishop, I can push my pawn, which looks like it's a very subtle move. There's not a ton going on there. But what it does is takes away every single possible square from the rook. The king is in a box. The king can't move at all. The king only has one legal move. That move would be here, and this would just immediately be checkmate. And then after I push the pawn, the rook can't move either. It's got no moves. My pawn takes away this square. All these are taken away by my king. Rook's got this square. Pawn's got this square. Neither of black's pawns can move. So what does black do? Black's in Zugzwang, can't make a single move that won't lose material. So black just takes the pawn with the rook, and I'm just going to win the rook. Wild. No good moves. There it is. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.